Hello and welcome to my first YouTube channel, and we are going to be interviewing the one, the only BuckFan77. That is my husband. Yes, that's my husband. And we're going to interview him today, and we're going to talk about his tonal journey on all the programs and stuff that he is working on now. So let's give a round of applause for my lovely husband, Aaron Dunford. Take it away.
Hi.
All right, so let's first off talk about why in the first place did we get tonal? I can remember the story clearly how that went down, but in your memory, how did it go down?
My memory, I'm trying to think. So I guess it started right after the Peloton bike, and you just got into doing the lifting with Daniel, and uh,
Mm-hmm.
and we were just on this health kick, and I wanted to be more healthy, and I couldn't fit my big butt on the bike, and I tried.
The ass be hurting, bro. The ass be
Yeah.
hurting.
So we kind of did we have the tread then? I think we had the
Yes.
tread.
Yeah, we had
Yeah,
the tread and the bike. Yep.
we had the tread, and when we dated the first time, uh, we went to the gym, or I went to the gym, and I just like weight training, and I tried the whole cardio thing, and it just didn't really do it for me. And then I'm trying to think, did we have the tonal before or after COVID? It was before COVID.
Yeah, it was before COVID because I remember because I think it was September. I think it was a little bit, but I forget, was it July or June that we got the tonal?
I think it was July, June, maybe June.
Because I remember because we had ordered it online to begin with, and then that whole price tag is like holy shit expensive. And
Yeah.
then my memory serves me right. All I had to say was, "Hey, Tony Horton is on tonal."
No,
Hubby
we
was
already
like,
bought it.
"Wrap it up."
No, no, no. I didn't find out till later. I think,
No,
I think,
no,
no, I think,
bullshit.
I
You
can't,
know, when you found out that Tony Horton was on tonal, you were like, "Okay, we can do this now." Yeah, trust me, I have a better memory.
P90X.
Oh, because remember, we went on Marketplace and we
Uh,
found the second-hand one from that lady and
yeah.
literally carried it down 2 flights of wooden stairs to get this thing in the car.
And in case you never picked your tunnel up, that bitch is heavy as fuck.
Yeah, it is not light, and we've moved it twice now, and
And a
I
fish, and officially my first exercise was calf raises, pushing the tunnel up so we could get it up onto the thing. Remember, we had to call the
I'm,
neighbor over.
I'm stuck, Cap. I'm stuck. We couldn't get it
I'm like,
up.
calf lift, boom, perfect. Worked perfectly.
Tunnel prepares you for real life activities.
That's right.
Um, so what was your first program when we got the tonal? It was Tony Horton, right? If I don't
Yeah,
remember.
so it was the 2020 Ignite, and I did the Tony Horton bit, because love you, Tony Horton, if you're listening. Um, the 20 it was Tony Horton 2020 Ignite. Kind of just got into the program. And really, I think it just really came down to it gives you guidance. It tells you what to do, when to do, and it kind of takes all the guesswork out. And
Yeah,
all I kind of joke and tell everybody all I have to do is go down to my front room and hit play, and
right.
that's it. And everything else takes over the rest. And I remember doing 2020 Ignite, and I was just like, man, this is awesome. This is great. I'm in and out 20 minutes. And then, after a while, I wanted more. And,
Right.
I didn't necessarily want to double up classes. So then, you kind of you're scrolling through the thing,
The
and
library.
the library, and I think I took Jared's class.
Divide and conquer. You took that. You took that a lot. Was the divide and conquer?
Yeah, I like the divide and conquer, and Jared, and then after finishing that, I look up and down the thing, and I was like, who's the biggest baddest motherfucker around here? And there was Jackson. So then I was like, you know what? I got you, bro. Come on. And then he's the biggest baddest dude in the club. And that's who you go after. And
That is true.
So I was kind of you kind of saw him in the moves and
Right.
everything, and I was a little intimidated at first, but then just so I think I started out with it was Go Big or Go Home one. And I think it was on Tonal already a couple months, because I think I finished Tony Horton's couple of 2020 Ignites, and then I think I did Jared's Divide and Conquer, and then I think I worked my way up to Jackson. And,
but that's when that's when you started getting like more disciplined and like more locked in on doing the programs. Because I remember like at some point you were kind of rocky. You were doing it for a while, and then you'd stop. Then you'd do it for a while, and you'd stop.
Yeah, just life gets in the way, and I wasn't as disciplined as I am now. I wasn't. I think it was more to do with that you weren't on. You were Pelotoned in, but you weren't tunneled in.
I wasn't tunneling. I wasn't tonaling. Tonaling.
So it's monkey see, monkey do.
You do. It is. It does. It helps a lot when you have somebody else kind of just like the driving the force, and you want to be like, all right, I see you. I see you.
Well, I think it really came down to it after I think you really got into it. Everything was going on with gosh, Peloton guy.
Yeah. Daniel. Yeah, that whole Daniel thing. Yeah.
The whole Daniel thing, and it's like you really got into weight training, and kind of Daniel pushed you over into the instead of the cardio world, into the weight world, and I saw what success you had, and being my wife, you really inspired me, and so thinking if she could do it, I can do it. And it was
exactly.
There was like so many things that like lined up, and it's like Tom Brady, the quarterback that I hate, signs with my favorite team. And probably one of the there was two things that really kind of gave me the kick in the ass, obviously, with dad passing away,
right?
Being want to be there for your daughter and healthy and everything, and then Mr. Greatest of all time going to your thing, and I looked down one day and I noticed that me and Tom Brady are the same freaking age.
It's crazy.
And he's out there slinging footballs, getting chased down by 300-pound defensive linemen, and I'm like, if he's that doing this, why not me?
Right. Exactly. And, totally.
And so I was just like, I can do this, and just the little thing clicked on, and it was just like, okay. I sat down, and it's like, how am I going to do this? And being in the car business, as the schedule's crazy, and all hours. So the only time I could do it is wake up at the butt crack of 5:30.
That's my friend Mo. My friend Mo, man, she up at like 3. So you and Mo could be like best buds. But yeah, you're up like hella early working out. My brain can't work that early.
But and really the main difference, and I notice now and then, is that from when I worked out at the gym before, and the inconsistency that would happen is because being in the car sales, and being such a great salesperson as I am,
right? Of course,
I would talk myself out of working out, and with tunneling at home, I can't talk myself out of going from the bedroom to the basement, to the basement,
right?
And
well, especially since we spent so much money doing this gym also, because you're a big creature of if you're going to use the money to do something, you better use it. So that's
Oh yeah.
I think that also helped you also like, oh my gosh, I just spent all this money on this gym. I'm going to enjoy it.
And it's awesome to come down, flight of stairs and have, our space, our workout, and this removes every excuse, right? Um,
It does.
you have intent, and there's just you come down to work out, do your thing, and that's kind of when I found Jackson. I started doing it. I'm not a big social media person, not like my wife. Uh, so probably one of the things I could probably work on. But
It's all right.
you just post it every now and then. You know, and then when I really got into doing Go Big or Go Home, and then I did Go Big or Go Home 2, then I went back to 1, then I think I went to Divide and Conquer, then back to 2, Go Big or Go Home 3, and I just started, and when you watch somebody and the physical prowess that Jackson has and everything, you really get wrapped up into it.
Oh yeah,
And I felt
definitely.
like, and uh, I felt like I was doing the work, but I wasn't getting the result because there's two parts of
So,
fitness, the in and the out.
yep.
And
Yeah.
my biggest problem is the diet portion. And there's
Right.
just so much minutia, so much misinformation and everything. And lo and behold, one day Jackson reached out to me, and you kind of get that, oh my gosh, is that Jackson, texting
Right.
me or
Right.
whatnot.
Yeah,
And
totally.
we started talking and everything, and then that's when I hooked up with him. Probably about a year ago. Yeah, about a year ago.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Because
and
I've been training with Joe now for 2 years. So I mean it's maybe a little bit over a year with
so yeah, so I
Jackson,
was probably
maybe.
into Tonal for a year or a year and a half,
Yeah, because you
and
were in it before I was.
and kind of doing the classes and everything, and then Jackson reached out and said that you know uh, I could show you the way. I could show you I could show you a sustainable plan that that you don't have to do this, then this. It's you just do this. And
Right.
I like simplicity. Um, it's easy. It's not easy, but it's easy following, and there's no room for it's white or black. It's not gray.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
it gives you gave me the plan, and I kind of maneuvered stuff around, and through the loving support of my wife with all that stuff, was able to have this success, and was
It
in
it's hard.
it's yeah, it's when you work a full-time job, and then the car business is full-time plus, and then but I didn't want anything to be an excuse. I didn't want anything to if I'm going to make this work,
Right.
it's I'm going to
All
make it
in.
work.
Right.
It's yeah, exactly. It's all in. It's the
Right.
machine. It's the using and everything. And luckily I have a supporting wife, and we or, they say birds of a feather flock together.
Together. Yeah. Well,
And
but you know what? But it worked. You know, we both keep each other motivated, and we're both on two totally different like fitness journey goals and stuff like that. But that just goes to show that like how important having that support system is at home to help you to excel. Because I certainly wouldn't be as far as I am without you, because I would have never gotten on Tonal because I can remember you telling me like 10 times like stop wasting your time doing those weight class because you could be so much further using Tonal. And it's like now since I've been training with Joe for these past 2 years, I'm just like, God, just imagine if I would have started. I mean, I'm thankful that met Joe and now I'm training with him now, but just imagine if I would have started like earlier, like how far ahead I would have been. So it's amazing what Tonal can do as a machine itself, but then having like a coach like you have, like Jackson, that's literally going to push you to that next level.
Well, I think the thing that kind of just it was funny because like I was watching you do it was the bench presses on Peloton where your elbows stop at the floor and you're literally an L.
Yeah.
And it's like you just moved, lost all
You
that
that motion, range of
stretch,
motion, the stretch in the
and
chest. Yeah.
I'm just like, I mean, it's a no brainer, but never in a million years did I think that that would happen, and then you just
I did. I didn't like this girl could barely when I started that video that you took of me bench pressing 30 pounds, I was like shaking getting that weight up. And you're just like, I can remember, I think I messaged Andrew Trippy also at that time. And he's like, oh, those are your stabilizer muscles. It will get better. I think that's what he said. Is that a thing? Stabilizer muscles?
yes.
Okay. Woohoo. So I can remember me shaking getting those 30 pounds up. And it's so crazy how different it is lifting on tonal than it is actually lifting a physical weight, how much heavier it is. Because it's just like I look at dumbbells and then I look at like tonal and I'm just like, dude, tonal is no joke. That shit's heavy as shit.
Well, I don't know the math, right? And I remember sitting on a call with Jackson one time, and he tried to explain the
The
math. The
digital weight.
25, yeah, the 25 pounds in a dumbbell, and we got dumbbells up to 60 pounds,
Right,
and
right, right. It's
and
not.
25 pounds on a thing on a tunnel, completely different. And
It humbles you real quick. Like that, like Bulgarians or anything single leg using that weight, it humbles you very quick. It makes you sit yourself down.
yeah, you have to sometimes you have to check your ego at the door.
Yeah, it's like you're like, oh, maybe I'll just hit it up. You hit that dial, and then you're just like, yeah, I regret that.
Well, the hardest thing is when you first get into it, and you have that comes to Jesus. Uh, you know, I used to do 225, 10 pound, 10 times, no problem.
Right,
225 is like the standard gym weight, and
right.
I remember putting 100 pounds on each thing, and I was like, all right, and I didn't move, and I felt like I was like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, and I hit the button,
Oh
and
my God.
I
Yeah.
was like 200 pounds didn't feel the same.
But I do have a question for you because I have seen like a revelation with you in your training, and I've kind of like watched that I've like listened to you talking is about how did you become a leg day fan? Like, how did that happen? Because I can remember like when you first started taking like tonal programs and stuff like that, you were like, fuck leg day. So what made it change for you? What changed?
So literally, like there was times in the beginning where, especially at like go big or go home for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
leg day, you were like, what's next? And there was days like I skipped leg day, and
I could,
and I
yes. I can
I
remember
I
that.
just I couldn't, and there's a point where your brain and your ego kind of like conflict.
Mhm.
It's called
Well, right,
confliction.
because you want to lift that heavy weight like right now. You're like, I can do this right now, but in all
Yeah.
honesty, it's just not there yet.
Well, it's almost like to the point where you put the weight and then you look around to see if anybody's looking.
But that's the great thing about having your own gym. You are the strongest person in the gym. Just hey, honey, just let you know, you are the strongest person in this gym.
Yes. So I literally I just for some reason I couldn't do it, and then like the front squats were really difficult. I seemed to have a lot of back problems because my form sucked. Uh,
Right.
and then I discovered lunges, and then like I hated them at first.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a problem with the right leg being so much weaker than the left leg,
Right.
and like so I did it all, even though it had tunnel, I did it with tunnel, but I didn't put any weight on it, and I just slowly but surely
Just built it
started
up.
doing it, and it just became easy, not easier, but I started actually liking it. And there's nothing like bending down and something you're not.
Right. That's like I think a lot of times I think with people that with leg days are that are so uneasy about, but it really is, just trusting the numbers where tonal sets you at and just trusting that process and kind of moving along with it slowly because like for me now, like hip thrusting 200 pounds and neutral deadlifting 200 pounds is like mind boggling to me now. But in the beginning, I was petrified of lifting anything heavy because, like you said, it's your back. You're worried about hurting yourself. But it's just like with tonal that the all those like options that you have for like safety stuff, that can turn off the weight for you, and it's not like you're going to drop a dumbbell on your head, so but it's
Yeah.
still but it's still like you said, it's just very humbling when that weight starts to, when you think you can dial it up more, and it's just like, okay, I need to dial it back because to stop myself from injuring myself. I may not be at that weight where I want to be right now lifting, but I'll get there. That's kind of like how I think of it as of it now is, I may not, because how far you've come with training with Jackson from where you started and where you are now, huge difference, huge difference. So it's just like at that moment, you're probably like, why didn't I just wait? Like I should have just trusted the process. Cause that's how sometimes I look at it. Like when I think my ego gets in the way, like, oh, I'm going to crank up the weight. Like I had to dial back on Bulgarian split squats because my ego got in the way. I think I can't remember what class it was. I think it was in Divide and Conquer Level Up with Joe, and I cranked it up. And then like the next program, I was like, I can't do this shit. I had to dial it down. I'm like, what was I thinking? I just fucked myself up. So now I got to start over. I just got to start all over and work my way up. But now I earned that weight. And that's something that I learned from Joe is really earning that weight. So
Well,
one
I
thing
think
about, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no. So I think the biggest thing when it comes to the actual trainers is that I've done squats before. I was never a fan of squats. And everybody talks about form and how to line up and everything, but no one ever
Mm-hmm.
told me about bracing core. And
Right.
and
I
it
didn't know
was
about it
really,
either.
and until I started doing core exercise, that's when like everything like changed.
Totally.
And
That core bracing.
I mean that was like the biggest thing. That's when I noticed the really big change. I joke around, and now I went from no abs to two abs, and now I got like a half of half of the other two, and then I'm probably about 6 months away from the bottom two.
But that's like one of the I like there was like we're talking about is so much stuff that we didn't know about that that the tonal coaches and like Jackson is teaching is like I never learned about core bracing. I never learned about engaging my lats with RDLs and deadlift. Like I never knew about all that stuff, or when you're bench pressing to how to push with your back and engage your lats and your like everything is so much more involved and it's so much more complex to get like the muscle and the gains that you want. And it's just like there's like a huge gap that we were missing in information, but we're catching up. We're catching up. We're getting smarter.
Well, and one of the game changers too is that I remember doing the uh, RDLs and the neutral grip
Deadlift.
deadlifts.
Uh-huh.
And I remember coming to you and I was just like, I can't figure this crap out.
You're
Like
like
I
they're the
go
same.
down
You're like they're the same thing. I'm like, no, they're not.
and like for some reason my body just wants to pull with the back. And like
Right.
and I remember what was it? I think I was like one reason I worked out at night or something like that, and I was like, you sit here and watch me.
Watch me do it.
and, and what I'm doing. And then you would say, okay, do this, and I get it, and then you leave the room, and then it went back to trying to
Back
lift
to
everything with my back.
the
And
back.
I'm
Right.
just like, I can't figure it out. It's like And then, Jackson talked about the mind muscle connection. And then, after doing that, it was, I had to talk myself, no back, no back, no back, no back, no back,
Yeah.
no back, legs,
Legs.
hips,
Right.
hips. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, it's like living with your own coach.
I did help you with your bench press. So there's that.
Oh, do
But
we want to
that's
go into that story?
Yeah, why not? Because this is a goodie. Go
All
ahead.
right. So I got every other Sunday off, and sometimes I'd work 2 or 3 Sundays in a row. And there's this one Sunday I just got up extra early, wanted to do the workout, and I wasn't using gloves and I wasn't using wrist straps, and my wife's not going to tell me anything, and I was doing bench presses, and I guess I was doing this and or that, yeah.
Yeah.
And like one day I like literally like my shoulder just hurt. Like it was like somebody punched me in the shoulder. And I remember,
He's talking calmly. He was ready to amputate.
yes,
He was ready to.
like I sprained my shoulder. I messed my shoulder up. There's something that's wrong. And she's like, honey, it's not that bad. And I'm like, no, I can't lift my shoulder. So I ended up going to a
He went to
urgent
the
care.
He went to the urgent care.
I went to urgent care. I mean, it hurt that bad. And I'm like, oh man, I messed up my shoulder. I tore my I was like, I tore my rotator
Oh
cuff.
yes. Oh yes. You were Googling the symptoms.
I was on YouTube, and it was the test. It was the test. I'm like, oh my God, I did the test. Oh, it's falling off, the kind of thing. And I ran down to the urgent care clinic.
And he was he was so mad at me because I was just like rolling my eyes. I'm like, this is not.
He was laughing at me.
I was like, do you feel that? Do you feel that? But yeah, he went to the urgent clinic.
And
what did they tell you?
They stuck me with a needle.
But let's rewind a little bit, because what did I tell you what happened?
And so she goes, it's your bench press form. Bench top, please. Bench press.
And then he goes to the ER, and then he calls me back and he says, yeah, I just like strained it.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh man. And you know what? I think it was like in the middle of like maybe 1 or 2 months after
you started training with
Jackson.
Jackson, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had to take some time off from working out for a little bit.
Yeah, I think I took like a week off. And and then sure enough,
he does bench press, and he's yep.
And I did it. I was like, okay. I think I left that day and I went down to Dick's and bought some wrist things, and now with those I can like really lock it in, and
right.
I don't tend to have, because I think my wrists are pretty weak because I have a hard time with push-ups. That's why I use the push-up bars.
Right.
And just from that, it's amazing how this has so much to do with that.
Like it's like that mind, and it's like now every single time you do bench, now you just remind yourself to knuckles to ceiling.
I do it every time. I do that, and then I lock it in.
Yep.
And it's just like, good God, now my wife is going to hold this over my head for the rest of my life.
Hey, I told Joe, I was like, Joe, I let me just get a wife win right now. I helped my husband with his bench press form. High five. But it's so easy how to, that's why I record myself a lot, because it's that littlest thing that can either cause an injury, a discomfort, or stop you from lifting heavier. And when I record myself, I can almost about 65, 75% of the time notice what I'm doing wrong. But, like I said, that's why I wish with like Jackson and stuff like that you would get more into like recording yourself and, getting form help and like stuff like that.
So he
But
says that you can record.
I know you're so busy. But at the end of the day, we want to get stronger. So sometimes we gotta, ask for help every once in a while.
Eh, you're right.
And that's how you get better. But that's how your lifts get better, and you be able to lift heavier. Because even what did Jackson was on that guy's YouTube channel recently, right? To work
Which
on
one?
his squat depth, right? Did I show you
Oh
that?
yeah, yeah. So yeah. So he said that he was going to the guy that does the Squat University,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he about the book, because he read his book and everything, and he actually went there and did that. And it's funny too because like you can't let your ego check you at the door. Jackson told me, or wouldn't have told me. It was in a call one time,
Mm-hmm.
and like if anybody doesn't know, Jackson actually wrote a book on abs.
Right.
Like wrote a book, an
It's
actual book
crazy.
on
On
abs,
abs. All about
and
abs.
all about abs. And he goes in one day with some back pain into the office, and he says that the nurse said that he wasn't bracing his core. And Jackson's like, "What are you talking about? Do you not see? Kind of
Do you not know who
there's
I am?
you know who I wrote the book." And sure enough, he said that I wasn't bracing the core all the way, and and here this guy's physically fit
Right.
trainer, and even he had to take it. It's all about learning and
It is.
everything,
It
but
is. It is all learning. It truly is. And being open to learning, and, it's I think it's just like a never ending process, because it's just there, we're never searching for perfection. We're just searching for that 1% better. Um, and that's, it's just like, because where you start isn't where you finish, like they say. So, you know, so what phase are you in now with Jackson?
so I finished phase 11, and then so what I'm doing now is I'm going back to phase 1,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna, because it's basically about 12 months. I'm gonna go through that, and kind of redo that, and then go through the diet again. Um, Originally, when I started with Jackson, I think I weighed it's like 238 if I remember
Mm-hmm.
correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I got down to now I'm like 207. So I
Yeah.
lost almost 30 pounds, and
Well, then also you got taking when in 2020, when the whole COVID strike thing. Also, you lost, God, how much weight did you lose from COVID?
yeah, so I was 275, and starting out with tonal, and going through diet. I went through my heel phase. Um,
Yeah.
and that's kind of where some of the misinformation with Jackson kind of set me straight on that.
Right.
I'm thinking I can drink my meals and stuff like that, and you can. You
Yeah,
just
that's
end up
not.
drinking more meals and get
Yeah.
hungry and stuff. So
We also
that's
got to
kind of
think, you got
where.
to got to use your jaw muscles. Like, I don't understand how that was going to work with, like, not being able to, like, chew your food. Like, I can't.
Well, I want to say like right after COVID, I think I lost because I was probably out a month, and I was in the hospital, and I remember walking into the ER. I really didn't want to go to the hospital because you're hearing all
I
these horror
remember.
stories.
Yes.
People are walking into hospitals and not walking out.
Okay. Right.
Um, and like I've never like two things I remember about COVID: one, not sleeping, and two, like to walk 30 steps was like running a marathon.
Right.
And I'm just I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like I'm 42 years old. Why is this happening to me? And
Yeah.
and so the weight came off. Um, my wonderful wife used to take me for walks
Yes, I would get you.
to get me
Yes.
out of the house.
Yes. Yes. Get you
Um,
moving, because that's so
you know,
important.
and I fought and argued and I don't want to do it and all
Yeah.
this other stuff. And then like it just, I woke up one day and I was 20 pounds lighter and had a choice to make. And
Right.
either I could go down this path and, with everything what happened to my dad, I already knew what was down that path.
Right.
And then I could go down this path and,
Just
and,
change
and,
things.
and change things and, have a better life, a better health, better, not, I just know so many people that are on so many medications for everything. And it's just like,
Right.
I don't want to be that person. And
Yeah.
so and that's the path I chose. And it just work after work after work, to do that. And the great time that I met Jackson is that I just happened to, I think I plateaued. Like I dropped to 228, I think it
Right.
was, but then I always went back to like 234, 235.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of when I discovered, really nutrition and,
Right. With
macros
Jackson.
and weighing food and what to eat, intermittent fasting, um, you know, don't eat anything before 12 o'clock, which was funny. I still haven't eaten anything now. So, learning about diet, and trust me, and by no means am I perfect. My wife will tell you the, it's sometimes some days are better than others.
It's living
I,
life. It's living life.
yeah,
You can't have a diet that's unsustainable, that you're not going to be able, and we talk about this a lot, is that you
yes,
have to have something that is a lot. You have to have something that's sustainable. You can't have something that you can't sustain, and then you're going to almost want to do the opposite and binge eat. And then you're eating so much of everything because you're not doing everything in a balance, and it's not going to fit your lifestyle. And I think that was one of the things that we also talked about when you started training with Jackson, because training with Jackson, I feel, was like a huge turning point for you with like your consistency and your discipline, because let alone you didn't have me like riding your ass, but you Jackson was there. Like you had that accountability, you were paying him, and that kind of was just like, okay, well, I'm not going to waste my money and time. Like I said, your whole mindset is you don't waste money. So you were like, we're doing this and I'm going to do it. I'm going to be locked in on it. And I think that was like a huge factor with you being more conscious of your diet, is because you had that accountability of a trainer right behind you.
right. And the one thing that really stuck with me that Jackson said is that you can't let one little thing affect the outcome. Meaning, if the one day of binge eating, you just see too many people. One day turns into two, that turns into five, that turns into for the rest of your life, and you give up because you think it's easier.
Right.
And you really gotta have the mindset of seeing what you want. There's in the group that you take photos, and seeing what you look at before, and then you see what you look like after. And for me, it was really two things. One, it was that pair of jeans that you bought me when we first started
Oh yeah,
dating.
for Guess, when I worked at Guess,
So these
those.
jeans, yes, those jeans are probably
Oh my
from what,
god.
2003,
And they're
20
boot
years old.
cut.
Love my boot cut.
Oh my god.
I don't even wear boots. But like I always kept these jeans, and it was crazy because I was like, man, I used to fit in these jeans, and like slowly but surely, those the I just one day just threw them on, and they fit. And that
That
was,
was a huge win. That was a huge
yeah,
win. And then you went to like the closet and you were like trying on all your old
yep,
clothes, and you were like, "Oh my god, look how big this is. Look how big this is." And I think that was like honestly, that is like the best feeling, is like what seeing your face when you were doing that, because I know that was such a huge accomplishment for you, because it is like, like you said, with your schedule and stuff like that, it's hard to really like eat during your workday and then come home late at night, sometimes at like 9, 10 o'clock, and you've barely eaten all day, and you're just like, okay, I need to get all this food in at me right now.
yeah,
So for you to like get to where you are right now is like a huge accomplishment, because
yeah.
it's
the second thing was be able to touch my toes. Hey, touch toes.
Touch your toes. Touch your toes.
Touching
And
my
didn't
toes.
wait. Didn't you tell Jackson that's what you were excited about? Did you put
So
like
we so we have a so we have a couple things in the group. One is Wins Wednesday, and I was just like, and people are putting on, lost 10 pounds. I did this, I did that. And I was just like,
right?
and I think it was Emily. Emily actually did the Win Wednesday,
I
and
love that. I love
I'm
that.
like I'm like I touched my toes. I was able to bend over and touch my toes. And like in the Win Wednesday, she going down the thing, and like she's like, that is such a big thing. And I was like, I thought it was like kind of a joke, but not really a joke. And she went on for about 5 minutes, about the little things that you do. And it's
Oh,
just
oh,
like the little things that you don't that you don't think about until you can do
right.
it.
Yeah, bending. Like, how important is bending over? Like, how many times a day do you need to bend over? A lot. So
Yeah. And you pick
huge
stuff
win.
up, you want to if you go down, you want to make sure you get up.
Yes, yes. And then also, with all the with training and stuff like that, you really took on to like recovery mode guru guy. Like, you went from like making fun of me with my Normatec legs compressions that I used to wear for my marathons. And then like now we're like a full blown like PT recovery
Recovery center. Well,
Yes.
I don't take credit for the sauna. I
Right.
don't
That
take
was
credit for the
my
sauna. That was you.
that was me.
But I remember like so I kind of did some research about biohacking, um, and I stumbled across red light therapy, and like there's so much. So sauna, there's a lot of research. Red light therapy, there's a lot of research, and like the research that I was hearing about red light therapy was like, and there was one person that used blood doping effects, and I'm like, there's no way. And I said, and don't get me wrong, just because I stand under red lights doesn't mean I'm going to go out and crack a 500-foot home run or something like that. But it's like the little aches and pains. Um, where I really use red light is I usually do it before I warm up, before I do that, and I think that's helped out a lot with the stretching, the recovery, the little aches and pains. Like I noticed I used to take a lot of ibuprofen,
Right.
and I
Yeah.
don't take any now. And a lot of people might hear this and be like, "Oh, well, that's BS." Da 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 da. But I'm just telling you, I started doing it, and I saw change.
Oh
And
yeah.
and it's I tend to sleep a little bit better now. Not so the I seem to have more energy. Like I get up at 5:30 in the morning. Sometimes I don't come home until 9 o'clock. So there really must be something to that as far as the recovery aspect, and then as I'm doing that research, you're doing the sauna
I'm
research,
doing
and
the
we're in
sauna
our basement.
research.
And I'm like, there was, I think, what were we talking about? And just like, I was just like,
We,
no,
well,
do this. No, let's do that.
no, well, we were talking about putting a treadmill because we were going to remember, we were going to put a salt treadmill down there, a belt treadmill.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, you know what? I don't want to be tempted. I think it's just like, when I was doing the Peloton days, with me overtraining, that temptation to get into that, I want to do everything kind of mindset um, was like, I was just like, okay, I can't have that because I will go off the edge again. And then when we started, I was just like, you know what? I was like, from Coach Christina on Tonal. She's huge on recovery and like mobility and stuff like that. And that's kind of like where I got my brain thinking on doing the sauna. Is that I was like, we spend all this money with Tonal, the membership, the basement and stuff like that. I was like, okay, so we need to reinvest that into recovery. So we are able to do the tonal longer. So I think when we started doing the sauna and the red light, I think that is like the best things that we ever did. I mean, I use the sauna almost every day.
Yeah, I don't use it as much as I should. But the red light therapy and really, I think that's what a lot of people get wrong is the recovery. And it doesn't have to
Mhm.
necessarily be sauna. It doesn't necessarily have to be red light therapy, but just
Right.
doing something for your body. And it's funny, and it all started with the air boots, the
Right.
Normatec. I think that was the very, very, very first thing that we got. And then
And you were
it
like, we
ballooned
paid
into
$700 for those. Those things are not going to work.
not only do we have one set, we have two.
We have two sets. We have the arms, we have the hips, we have a back. We have so much recover. Like we should own stock in like Hypervolt and Hyper Ice and like
And I remember like when I think the second thing we bought was the heated back thing. And I remember
mhm.
like when I first started working out with Tonal, that I would actually wear that when I worked out because my back felt like it was tightening up and whatnot. And
Right.
I mean I haven't had any back issues for a while.
Yeah, I haven't heard you ever said that you were having any back problems because you used to have a lot of back problems. Like you
Oh
were
yeah.
scared, you were scared on leg days, but that goes back to what you said about you learning about core bracing and stuff like that. So
So yeah, so if anybody needs to recover, let us know.
yeah, we have a plethora.
We could be
Um,
a retreat.
yeah, we could. I mean, we got everything. So let's just see. So you're going into back to your first program with Jackson. Now, what goals are you having for yourself going into this second time around that you want to do different than you did the first time around?
So not to steal from my wife, but I'm really looking forward to you kind of power through the first one, um, 'cause just to kind of show it, and I think I want to do more, uh, concentrate on time under tension,
Touch. Right,
um,
totally.
and versus just throwing up
Lifting.
max weight stuff like
Right,
that. I
right,
think that's being a male and into the weights, you always want to do more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And the one thing that I think I've learned is that it's not necessarily the amount that you're pushing, it's how you're pushing it.
right. And that's
And
that's one thing that like this one thing that I've like you said I've learned is that sometimes it's just like yes I can move that 200 pounds, yes I can bench press. I think I'm up to like I can do 1 rep max on 90, but it's just like how slow can I move it and how long can I hold the stretch for before pushing up. So it's like I'm excited to go back into that kind of slowing down and really focusing on stretching the muscle and because I know I can lift heavy. Just like you said, I know I can move that heavy weight. That's already done. That's check.
check.
Okay? That's check. It's done. I've maxed out tunnel on 3 moves. Check. You know what? But now I need to rein it back in, sit myself down and like you said, really focus on that time under tension because I think that whole hypertrophy thing with growing muscle mass and stuff like that I think is just like it's a game changer I think.
Yeah. And so I time under tension, I think it's really going to when I originally set with Jackson and we sat down because he has a phone call with you and he goes over what you're looking to do. You bounce ideas off each other and kind of go over your goals. And I remember sitting there and I was like, well, I really want to get down to, I really want to get down. I think I told him 215 if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think it was.
And
Yeah, yeah.
because at the very very time that I started with him, that I went ahead and said, hey, okay, I'm going to do it. I was 232. Well, then in preparation, so really, I think it was either a week or 2 weeks before I actually started the program, he sent me the diet. And so that's when I started doing the diet. And I actually lost, I think it was like 7 or 8 pounds between the time that he sent me that to the time I started. So
Hmm.
I think I told him 215 from 230, 232, but I already lost 10 pounds.
Right.
And so I remember I was like, well, if I could get down to 215, and now I think, just kind of after going through this whole process, I think I could probably get somewhere around in the 190s. I think that's kind of like I said, 207 this morning. I think the 190s we'll get rid of my little tire that I have.
Yeah. But yeah,
And
you also think, body recomp, I mean, because look at me, I'm a lot heavier right now. I mean, I'm at 141 pounds. You wouldn't know it. But that's how
you're
much, I mean,
more
huh?
solid than you think.
Solid as a rock. Now, if I could just get that bicep vein, we'll be sold.
Yeah, my one
Uh,
holy thing that I get to hold over your head.
Mine is hiding. My bicep vein is hiding. I don't know why it's hiding. Maybe I can't say because I'm like really fair skinned, so that can't be a cop out why it's not poking out. I don't know. I don't know.
Just gotta talk
But
to it. Hey,
maybe I do need to start having conversations with the bicep vein because I do have conversations with it. I'm like, why are you poking out? But hey, Joe does have that new chess program that he is dropping. I am excited for. So maybe that will be the secret key because he did add some push-up options in there for me. I'm gonna say he did it for me. I'm just gonna say he did it for me. But
well, here's the one thing about the bicep vein thing is that for some reason on my left arm it just, but on my right arm I'm just now starting to see it. But if I was to pose in the mirror, I think my right arm is bigger than my left arm. But for some reason, the
the
left arm just
bicep
seems
vein,
more vascular. Yeah, like the left one is predominant. The right one,
that's weird.
yeah,
Hmm.
don't
I
know,
wonder why that is. I mean,
don't know.
well, you said which arm's bigger?
The right one feels bigger or looks bigger. The left one just seems more lean, and I can't explain why.
You got beefy and lean.
Yeah, not to be confused with Taylor and
Taylor
Swift.
Swift. Oh my God, no. I can't believe I just, ah. So, all right. So, we're going to be working on, both of us are going to be working on time under tension. So, this is interesting because I'm going into accumulation. Um, and then Jackson doesn't do phases, does he? It's just kind
No,
of
he
like
does. He does.
he
Yeah, he
does
does. Um.
like rep
So,
changes. I mean,
oh
do you
yeah,
sometimes do
yeah, he
five
does.
and then sometimes, okay, okay.
Yeah, so the
Um,
one program, so it's 4 week programs each phase. Uh, through the program is 4 phases. Um, 4 phases, a new phase every month. But I kept going after that.
right.
So he does. He'll do like phase 1 is high reps, 12 reps. Um, then I
Okay.
remember, and I don't know exactly which phase it is, but because all I have to do is push play.
Yes. I don't even know I don't know what I'm doing, but I
I don't
know
even know what
I'm
I'm
doing
doing. I just push play and I do it. Uh,
it.
and then it'll go down to 4. So high as 12, as low as 4, and
Hmm.
and that's where the heavy stuff comes in, and that the heavy stuff with the eccentric is awesome fun.
Yeah, no, eccentric and chains are the devil. Those are evil Knievels. I don't think I ever curse so much when those suckers turn on, especially like on standing chest press. I'm like, Tonal, you're not getting a hug today. You are not pulling me back today, son.
Oh, the
But
worst is when like you're really pushing, and you're like, oh yeah, I got it, and then that third rep comes in. It's like,
I
it's like,
haven't
oh
had
crap.
I got stuck. Like I made a reel about it because I was just like, see, you don't have to be scared to lift on tonal heavy. And I got stuck right here on my bench and it was not going up. There was no way that bar was moving. I'm sitting there, trying to push as hard as I could, and it was just not going up, and I had to turn the weight off. I had to put the weight down. That's always the
The
worst for me,
the one
especially
time I
on
was
bench.
scared. Yeah, there's been a couple times I've been like that it hits my chest. And then I think the one time I forget what oh, I was doing chest flies and the strap broke.
Oh yeah, we remember that. Yeah. Well,
And as
luck
soon as the strap broke, I'm like, oh my God, my wife's gonna kill me.
you broke her. You broke her.
It's like, and I remember, I think as soon as it happened, I like ran upstairs and I'm
You
like, oh
did.
my
You were
God,
like,
oh
oh
my
my
God,
god.
oh my God, oh my God.
But
I
but
swear
we were
this happened. It wasn't me. It was the strap. I didn't do it.
Yeah, but we, like since we bought our second hand, we didn't know how many workouts they had done previously or how old their tonal was. So, I mean, it was bad. I mean, they should be replaced. I mean, the new hotness, the new handles are awfully nice. So,
Yeah, they are.
we replaced both of them just to be safe.
Yeah. Because if one breaks, chances are the other one breaks. But yeah,
Right.
that was a little scary. That
Yeah.
scared the crap out of me. I was like, whoa, the hell?
Yeah. Well, I remember I tried to fix it and then I tried doing, I think I was doing neutral deadlifts at like 60 pounds because I had done it at 60 and it wouldn't hold it. It snapped again. So
Yeah.
we just, it is what it is. But you can like, we bought those like Bobo ones off of Amazon that you just can't,
Yeah.
turn off the weight. But
Yeah. So I think, Mr. Jeff has all the toys. And
he's got
I was
so many
asking him,
attachments.
he does. He's got his attachments have attachments.
Yes, that is.
And I remember, I think me and him were going back and forth on Facebook, and he recommended those straps just for the thing until
Backup.
the other straps showed up.
Yeah. But it all worked out for the best. It all worked out for the best. We got everything fixed, got new hotness handles, so good to go. All right. So we've been talking for almost an hour.
Oh wow!
Can you believe it? Almost an hour? But it has been exciting. So let's wrap this up. My first YouTube channel episode with my hubby. So just wanted to say thank you, hubby, for always supporting me, for sending me on a plane to New York City multiple times. And especially this last time to go meet all the tonal coaches and meet members and stuff like that. I just like it means so much that you kind of like support my craziness.
Well, so here's the offset is like with everything that's happening and going on and everything. It's really super challenging for you to go out. And I was very I was happy and excited that it got you out into the thing, and I'm just like, you're literally hopping on a plane going to New York. And
The biggest
and
place, like the craziest, like worst place for a germaphobe ever to go.
and you talk about a woman on a mission. It
I
was
was.
like
I
it
was.
was like literally her stuff was packed like 3 days beforehand, and we're
Yeah.
going over coat selection because Georgia cold is completely different from New York cold, and
Yep.
all that kind of stuff, and it was amazing because the the fear that we had to overcome just to do that. And
Yeah.
I was very proud of you.
You
And
know, but it's just like, it's just, like I would do anything for you. It's just like when people help me, like how Joe's helped me and stuff like that. Like I think that fear of, that mama bear, that like I can do anything, that adrenaline just like gets all up inside you and you just get so excited that you're going to like see this person that has helped you and you get to tell them thank you to their face. Cause like we had talked about earlier about like kind of like how social media and AI and all this other stuff, it's still important to have that, human interaction and that, the people, because that's what makes it so much more fun for me. It makes it so much more fun to me having, the coaches and kind of like, now that I've met them in person, it's just like in my brain, it's just like, we got jokes.
Well, the one thing I was concerned with, and if I had Joe's phone number, I probably would have called him beforehand. I just thought maybe they should have beefed up security with you being there.
Dude,
Running, tackling Joe.
Joe could squash me with his bicep.
Probably not.
Yeah, Joe is like how tall is he? 6'4", right?
He's tall. Him and Jackson both are. I think 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
Big boys.
Yeah. Joe, yeah, no, there's no tackling Joe. Joe is the linebacker. Like you said, you picked the baddest, biggest, most strong ass coach, and then you're just like, you know what? Why not?
Why not? I came this far. What could happen?
What could happen? You know, what else crazy shit could this guy honestly come up with? And I think that's where I was just I was kind of he could actually do a lot because the options that he throws are a little cray cray.
Well, I remember I did a Joe. I think I did a Joe.
You did Joe's Divide and Conquer level up, and you lasted the first week, and you're like, fuck leg days. I'm not doing
it. And I
it.
remember the stretch. The hamstring stretch.
Joe loves the hamstring stretch.
I want to see his year in review because it gives you your number one movement. I guarantee you his was that leg stretch.
Oh, guarantee. He loves that thing. He is all about his hamstring stretch. Like when he improves that hamstring stretch, because you can literally, I took his Power Build 1 class, and then, I've taken some of his newer stuff. His I'll give him credit, man. His hamstring stretches.
And I love someone that can laugh at himself because he'll be doing this hamstring stretch. Look at the big guy go. Look at the flexibility.
He has the best personality. He gets me cracking up, and I absolutely love it. So
he needs to learn a John Madden voice. It's like, boom, look at it. Look at the hamstring.
Boom. Oh, he has enough. He has enough. What is he the Help Me Tom Cruise? He has a lot of. I think Joe is a movie guy, so he does a lot of movie quotes. He'll say funny lines.
Because we love our movies.
Yeah, because he's a big when he did that Step Brothers reel. Remember when I showed you we're here to fuck shit up? I was that's epic. So good. So, all right, let's wrap this up. We've been talking for over an hour. So, like I said, thank you so much, hubby, for doing this for me. I really appreciate it. And here's to the next part of our fitness journey.
Well, LFG.
Thanks, babe.